This is Heavy Conversation with Bruce and Jody, a podcast where we talk about being a big guy in today's world. I'm Bruce. And I'm Jody. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go.
What's up, Bruce?
Hey, Jody. I'm preparing myself for tonight.
Tonight,
as we're recording this, Doctor Strange comes out this
yeah.
evening. Doctor Strange 2. So I'm, very excited to go.
Is it at midnight or is it like?
So you know how they always say, begins Friday. Well,
yeah.
They now start them on Thursdays, especially these like Marvel and DC movies, and all that. So I'm excited to go and geek out at the movie theater, and it looks like it'll be like me and 200 of my closest friends.
Right.
So,
is that the one where what's her name? Is it Wanda or what is her? No,
yes.
the lady from WandaVision was going to be in.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes. And
because I've been like seeing weird like things and I'm like, wait, I'm confused. What's going on? Who's in this?
Yeah, so
I haven't seen the trailer, I don't think. So
Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange, directed by Sam Raimi, who is phenomenal. Did the first two Spider-Man movies, the old school Spider-Man movies.
I don't even know what we're on, number Infinity and Beyond.
The Evil Dead movies. He's amazing, and I'm very excited to see. This is supposed to have some pretty awesome horror elements to it. So it's not just for a comic pop culture geek like me. It's also got some of this stuff in it. But if you're really into the geekiness and the comic side of things, then there are some surprises that are supposed to be part of it that are going to be really exciting. And nice. I sometimes read the spoilers because it doesn't ruin it for me, because reading about it is not the same thing as actually being in the theater and seeing a thing.
Sometimes I really try hard to like, I can't be on social media, put blinders on.
Right.
Because someone's going to post about it and then I'll be like, oh man.
Exactly. And I'll do that especially with TV shows. If I know a show is going to be on and I am going to watch it the day it comes out, it's like, okay, no social media. I can't read any news, nothing, because so many news sites spoil that stuff in their titles. And I mean,
you're like, oh, well, I guess I don't need to watch that now.
Your company should be shut down if you spoil it in the title.
Yeah.
Yes. But I digress. So I'm very excited. Today is the day.
But does it come out at normal time or is it midnight?
So it comes out, it starts today at like 3 p.m.
Okay.
So in the afternoon, and they start, they have like tons and tons of showings.
It'd be on every screen and every theater.
Right. Yeah. Right. So it's going to be everywhere. I'm excited to see how they bring in some new characters, bring back some old characters that we haven't seen in a long, long time, and kind of push things forward.
That'll be good. The last movie I saw was the Anything Anywhere All the Time or whatever the hell that one was.
I heard
called.
That was amazing.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I still I want to try and go see it again before it's out of theaters, but
it
was doing great.
Everything Everywhere All at Once, is that it?
I don't know, something like that. Everyone knows what I'm talking about, but...
they do. Yeah. And so what I heard a podcast talking about it, and they were like, we can't say much about it because it will spoil.
Oh yeah, there's
so
much, but
so going in not really knowing what it's about sounds like the way to hit it.
I mean, even the trailer, you're just like, what am I about to see? And it blew my mind.
Nice. So this week looks like we're going to discuss I happened across an article on the Atlantic by a writer named Amanda Mull. It's called What the Fitness Industry Doesn't Understand. And basically a new generation of fitness instructors teaches simple skills that make a difference. Why is beginner level exercise treated like a niche? So it really dives into a lot of the things that we've talked about over the years in different episodes about, especially for me, like how I have these issues with exercise and activity and how they kind of they go back to childhood and school and not having the expertise or knowledge to just get out there and do these exercises, and how that sticks with people over the years, and it makes physical activity intimidating, and especially specific types of exercise and workouts. Instead of finding joy in those things, it's something that a lot of people stay away from because this is how the industry has treated this stuff for so long. And not even just the industry, but government and all these other things. And
Oh yeah.
it is a long form article. It's on the Atlantic, and I don't think they write short articles there. So it is definitely worth diving into. It came out April 27th of 2022. And again, it's called What the Fitness Industry Doesn't Understand. And I thought we just kind of, I wanted to, talk about some of the hit on a few of the notes that are in this article that I thought were really interesting. And, she's writing about people who are kind of changing the way that we look at exercise and activity. And there's someone with a YouTube page doing a bunch of videos that really works on figuring out how to make the basics of exercise more approachable, taking away the shame and kind of says he's the polar opposite of whoever lorded over your middle school physical education class. So he is a gym teacher of sorts, and he has millions of followers on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok because he's teaching a remedial PE course for adults from his Arkansas backyard. So in many of his videos, he's wearing a t-shirt and jeans instead of specialized athletic gear, and he uses little to no equipment. And so a lot of what he's doing are super common exercises, so squats, lunges, push-ups, pull-ups, with variations that are tailored to different capability levels. So it really is kind of like the basic, this is a place to start. It says for someone who's never exercised at all, a push-up might start as, or might just be lying on your back and bench pressing the air to expand your range of motion. So it's teaching you the absolute basics, which is something that we just don't get.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, like you were saying, it kind of goes back to those, we were briefly talking beforehand about those standardized tests that we had to do in gym class. Like some of these activities, I'm like, who can climb a rope like that? Just pull themselves up on a rope. Like there was one kid in our class that could do that, maybe two.
Right.
Like
exactly.
I mean, who has that upper body strength? Just in, like, you're a kid. Like,
right.
And doing pull-ups and those weird stretches.
Sure.
That weird box. Like there was just weird. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Right. And that's,
how is this really showing how fit we are? None of these are like, I don't know.
Right. It kind of misses the point. And really, if you're doing any of this stuff and you want to get to that point, you have to work at it and you have to start somewhere. And so, what this person is doing is helping people kind of progress, and so starting at a very basic level and working up to some of these different things. So being able to do the actual the push-up that everybody knows. Well, you start by doing these different kinds of positions and different movements, and you work toward that. And it's one of those things where another thing in the article that it says is that a lot of times what these companies that are creating exercise instruction, they are expecting that everybody's going to be at the same level to start with, that they have the the experience to know how to start doing all of these things. And it's just not something that it's just not something that is the case. Most people don't know how to do different kinds of exercises or what you do with
it's super intimidating when you walk into that place.
Totally.
In a gym or whatever sort of thing. You're just like, where do I start?
Right.
Like that's how I feel every time I go in there. Like I start a new routine or whatever, and I'm like, well, where do I start?
Right.
How do I use these machines, equipment properly so I don't hurt myself?
Exactly.
And you don't want to look stupid doing it.
No, you don't.
I don't, because you've seen those videos of people using some of the equipment like totally not the way you're supposed to. And you're just like, I don't know. What is this? I don't know. Understand these stick figures on the picture. Like,
sure. And there's intimidation and shame kind of around that. And I know for me that I feel that if I come in and the times that I've gone to gyms or had a membership or something, and I've seen machines that I don't understand how to how to use, and it,
Yeah.
it keeps you away from it. And
Well,
there's
and they're like you said, they're made for a different body type normally. Like they're not made for big bodies in general. So
sure,
you gotta really adjust things to make them even maybe come close to that you can even use them. So
right.
they're starting at a weird base level that most people aren't even at.
Yeah, and so in the article, it talks about how lots of people seem to assume that their inability to do sets of the basic exercise moves is an irreversible failure that's
Mhm.
been with them since they were in elementary school gym class.
Yep,
And
that has for me. Not being
right,
able to do a single pull-up was just like scarring. You're just like, what? Why
exactly.
can't I do this? Most of the kids are doing these, maybe not a ton of them, but they're doing a few.
Right, right. And so the fitness industry, what they generally call a beginner is someone who's young and capable and wants to become more conventionally attractive or get swole or learn a trendy workout,
Yeah, bro.
such as, yeah, right, like a high intensity interval training kind of thing. And this is all of this is in the article, and it's they these workouts and these industry, these people in the industry and places that you can go, they don't. Uh, they don't offer a lot of the basics. It's basically like come back when you've developed the endurance and core strength to avoid barfing, crying, and injuring yourself in the first 10 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's definitely like if you just want to be more capable, and she says in the article, if you just want to build a baseline of capability, whether that's for hoisting your toddler, shaking off the stiffness of a desk job, or living independently as you age, there's not a lot out there for you because it's all so focused on getting ripped,
Yeah.
and it's missing an entire audience that would be interested in this. It says more than 3/4 of Americans don't currently hit the CDC's recommended minimums for regular exercise, and people just drop these like buzzy fitness things. There'll be something that people are doing for a while, and then they drop it for a ton of different reasons.
Yeah.
So there are demands for these kind of basic services and basic options, and it's surprising when you think about it like that there just aren't more.
Mhm. Yeah, you just need basic, like super, super basic, low intensity, slow exercise stuff to even get to the baseline of where these other things start from. Like, I just want to be able to move my body comfortably, like do these activities to be active in some way. But when you like try to do some of those videos, I'm like, we're still in the warm-up phase, and I'm like, my face is beet red and I'm sweating, and I'm like, this is just the warm-up.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Totally.
Like, this is no, it's not. This is insane.
So one of my workouts today is to hoist this beer that I have in my hand.
Ooh,
Yes.
I mean, that's fine. You
Yeah.
just do some curls,
Yeah, exactly.
do some
Exactly.
reps.
Yep. That's it.
Sit in the chair and do some
Right.
beer curls.
Exactly. If I can get it up to my mouth, then I'm good to go. Yes.
What do you got, Bruce?
So this week I have a beer called Beer for Hoops, and it is
Beer for
from
Hoops.
Off Color Brewing, which is in Chicago.
Nice.
Yeah. And
Hoops.
it is a cream ale with peach puree and vanilla beans added.
Ooh, that sounds yummy.
Yeah,
Yummy.
I think it does sound pretty interesting. It actually has lots of malts, lots of hops, and it says a couple secret ingredients which they give away on the can.
So I
So
was like, I don't want secret ingredient.
yeah, right. Peach puree and vanilla beans, and it's a session, so it's 5%, which I would say is a little stronger than a normal session. Aren't they usually around 4.5 or lower?
Yeah.
But either way, I am not a big fan of beer with vanilla, but this is very light. The peach stands out a little more. It's very, very easy to drink. Cream ale. I am a big fan of cream ales. I love cream ales, but so this really works, and it's they've done a good job. It's not not too heavy, not too much vanilla. It's smooth and very drinkable.
Nice. And who that was from where again?
It is from Off Color Brewing in
Off
Chicago,
Color.
Illinois. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, mine, I have Brainsicle
Brainsicle. Okay.
from Sasquatch Brewing.
Oh, nice.
It's an IPA again, an easy drinking IPA fermented cold with a lager yeast, crisp, clean, and perfectly on trend. But okay,
nice.
I think this one was from our beer,
the beer run,
where I forgot where we went, but
yeah, Belmont Station.
Sorry, yeah.
Yes.
So this is floral, fruity, citrusy, clean, and bitter on Untapped. You can follow along on there. I'm going to try this little.
Nice.
Ooh,
yes. Wow. Tasty.
That is got some bitter to it.
Well, there we go. Perfect. Ooh. Stays with you.
Yeah. Born and brewed and canned in Portland, Oregon.
Hey, nice. Yeah. Sasquatch. They have some good beers. Definitely worth checking out. And
nice.
Yeah.
It is pretty fruity, but it's wow.
Yeah.
Very hoppy.
Would you drink it? Would you drink it again? I know you're not a big fan of hoppy.
Yeah, probably on a sunnier, summery day. Not like today.
Which is not today.
Not today. It was so nice yesterday, and then today I woke up and it was raining. So
sure was. I rode 20 miles yesterday, and good Lord, it hurt. I don't know.
20?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but
you don't know how you did 20 miles? Or
well, no, I just I've as I've been kind of riding again, I've been doing longer rides like that, but this was I went a different way. It was a different route. Oh, okay. And my body was not ready. So so yeah.
When was the last time you did a big ride before that?
It had been probably 2 weeks, something like that. So
it wasn't like a long time. Picture time.
Yeah, no, it hadn't been too long. I mean, you got to get your bike rides in between the storms, between rain. Right. So hopefully it'll end soon. But no, it was fun to get out. It was very nice. It was, I'm ready for summer now. So, it was good. I went to sleep very early. I slept 10 hours, which I never really do. So woke up, felt refreshed and rested, which it was my body's way of telling me you should do this every night. So
yeah.
It's hard.
I haven't had one of those in a couple of days. I don't know what's been going on.
Yeah. So back to exercise. Something you had mentioned, the presidential fitness test.
Oh, is that what it was called?
Yes.
Which president made us do that?
So it was a biannual quasi-military exercise developed in the 60s that required children as young as 6 to, among other things, run a mile as quickly as possible. Do as many pull-ups as their little arms could handle, and get weighed, usually while all of their peers looked on.
Oh, I don't remember that part, but
I remember I'm trying to remember. I feel like I remember the weigh-in thing. I mean, when I was in elementary school and we did this, I was in a small town in Southern Illinois. So I don't know. I remember the presidential fitness stuff. So I definitely remember trying to climb the rope. I remember the running. I remember push-ups.
And I remember the stretching thing because I was not very flexible.
Yeah. I feel like I remember the weight thing, but I can't be 100% sure if that's just my mind,
Yeah, I don't remember that part.
Yeah, so the criteria for passage varied over the years, and in between tests, schools weren't required to teach kids anything in particular that would help them improve their scores on the skill components.
Oh, well, great.
So yeah, it was.
She says, put these arbitrary tests but don't actually give us anything to improve.
Exactly. Cool. Exactly. And so the priorities of the system were, let's see, for example, kids deemed overweight couldn't fully pass the test, even if they outperformed their classmates. The whole system was a big missed opportunity. Instead of engendering curiosity about physical activity and giving kids skills to build their capacity, PE separated them into physical haves and have-nots, which is, and public health officials admitted as much when they discontinued the test in 2013. So she goes on to say, as it turns out, you can't just teach millions of children that exercise is painful, humiliating, or a punishment for their failures and expect them to swan into adulthood with healthy, moderate beliefs about their bodies, which is absolutely the point.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to think about that because PE for me was so
just,
much of that.
Oh God, it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was humiliating, excruciating, and like none of it was fun.
Right. And
like I can't remember what about it was ever fun. Like badminton maybe was fun.
I didn't find much joy in it until high school when I could do the other random, like badminton and things like that. And I really didn't find joy in physical activity again until probably my late 30s. So, it was a long time to go from that horrible experience to where I'm at now, where I appreciate it more. And being able to be physical and have, do physical activities on my own terms. And that's where I'm at with it personally now. But I mean, I lost 2 or 3 decades there because, because that experience as I was young sucked. So, and there really wasn't anything else out there for so long that was like, that was welcoming to people in that situation. And that's millions and millions of people in that situation.
Yeah. And they wonder, why it's an epidemic, why no one, what was it, whatever that statistic was about how many people aren't getting, just the basic amount of movement or physical activity.
Right.
Like you did this to us.
Right. Absolutely.
Our government,
the fact that they didn't think about any of this is surprising to me, but it also is, it's reflective of so many other things in society and so many of the things that we're pushing against that are starting to change, that have just been that way for decades and decades. So it's, it's interesting to look back at that. And it's also interesting to see how the fitness industry is kind of changing. And Amanda talks about this in her article, about gym teachers kind of piecing together curricula that are more encouraging and creative, exercise gear that's available in a larger array of sizes. And people who run fitness businesses have started to realize that shame might not be the best way to approach all of this. So, I mean, that aside, there's still tons of stereotypes, and that sucks. There's the whole idea in fitness that for you to be successful at this, you have to be thin. Which is something that's still being pushed back against, that should not be the end goal of activity.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can be fit no matter, you don't have to be thin to be fit.
Right.
There's plenty of big bodied people out there doing amazing things and being very active.
Sure.
Right.
And that was one of my complaints with something like Apple Fitness, which I subscribe to and don't use as often as I probably should, was that early on, none of their fitness instructors looked like me. There was nobody who was bigger that was also active. And I feel like so many of these fitness sites and fitness services miss out on that. It's one of those things. I do want to see someone who's bigger, who's on an exercise bike or doing doing
whatever.
yoga. Right. And if you see those things, it makes a big difference, and it makes you feel seen, and it makes you feel like, okay, well, if they're doing this, maybe I can do it. Maybe I can give it a try. So, she also talks in this article about how it's even difficult for people who are instructors and fitness teachers, that they risk losing their careers and credibility if their bodies change. And so they're told they have to stay a certain way. And, it's it says it's also not a great way to assemble a workforce with intuitive understanding of what millions of inactive Americans need from them, which is whether that's beginner level strength instruction or yoga pose modifications for larger bodies. So, keeping instructors, making them have to look a certain way or be at a certain weight or whatever, doesn't always allow them to be open and understanding to other bodies, other body types, other people who might be interested in trying some of these things, but maybe can't at this point do those things the way that the fitness instructor can.
And I think they're not really motivated. Most of those fitness companies aren't really motivated to make people healthier. They just want your money.
Right.
That's all it really comes down to, is they're just trying to get money. They don't really, ultimately, they're the big higher ups, shareholders, all that, don't really care about getting you healthier. They just want your
they want money
dollars.
Right
Which they're not tapping into a huge base of people that would be paying on a more regular basis, not just like signing up at the new year because you're doing that thing and then not going.
Right. Give people the things that they're actually looking for that will keep them there long term, and they will stay long term, and they'll pay for the services, and they'll use them and be happy. And if you have a happy customer, they're going to stay. They're going to continue using the service. So
I did like the thing about the YouTube guy, how he doesn't have a subscription or anything. He uses the advertising that dollars he gets from YouTube,
which is awesome,
pay for his to pay him. So that's pretty awesome. So I'm definitely going to check him out and see what that's all about.
Definitely
does some body weight exercises, like you were saying, how he doesn't use equipment or much equipment at all. So
there are people out there that are starting to do these things, and there's someone named Casey Johnston who developed an 8-week starter course called Lift Off Couch to Barbell, and it was started because she had an experience trying to pick up strength training and how it was difficult. She tried a beginner's program, and when she got in the gym, she realized she wasn't strong enough to lift a barbell even without any weights attached. And so the bar itself weighs 45 pounds, and that's a lot more than lots of true beginners would be able to maneuver. And so she's got this course that helps people really get started, and it's become something that she is doing full time. It's replaced the income she lost after getting laid off from a media job last year. And so it's really neat to look at these things. And there are people doing fat yoga and lots of different things. They're starting to get into this, and they're starting to cater to this audience that needs this stuff. And it's really cool to see what's out there. And one thing that comes to mind for me is that there's a website called Join. It's joyn.co. And for the last few years, they've been doing this thing. It's movement for everybody, and it's body inclusive, encouraging, and kick-ass movement classes. And it's free, totally free. But they have the instructors are they are plus size people. They're bigger people who are doing these different kinds of activities. And the classes, they cover everything. Let's see, we've got strength, the high intensity, there's cardio, dance, tai chi, stretching, yoga, Pilates, meditation, and recovery. It runs the spectrum, and it really is. There are things, there's like a 10-minute cardio and strength. There's dance, full body stretch, all of these different things, and they do them in ways that are really accessible. So there's like a tap class, and it's a seated version. And so this instructor is sitting in a chair, and she's doing these tap movements from the chair. Yeah. So it really allows people it gives them a place to start, and then it goes deeper. There's like 35-minute full body Pilates. There's all this stuff, but the cool thing about it is that it's people that aren't the ripped, sculpted fitness instructor that we've always been told is what you should be aiming for, because that's not realistic for most people, and that's not something that most people want. It's like the article said in the beginning, a lot of people, they want to lift their toddlers, they want to be able to get up and move around after being at a desk job all day.
Right.
And I think Join is really interesting, and I do feel like it is maybe before its time. It's like they started doing these great classes and kind of getting out there, and I hope that that it continues to grow, and that there's more to it down the road, because I mean there's 14 pages of classes that
There's
I'm looking at. Yeah. And so it's, it is really cool what they're doing. And I mean, they've got a ton of instructors. It looks like maybe, I don't know, about 20 different instructors that run the spectrum. So it's things like that. We need more of this. And if we can get more of these kinds of things, then I think we'll see people get more active and try different things. But it's just a matter of giving people what they're looking for.
I think that's important, and there are options out there. So I think you just got to do a little digging, find some of these classes that they have some modifications for different body types and abilities. Don't feel frustrated when you're not seeing it right away, but definitely you got to dig a little bit. There are some classes out there for you if you're looking for something to be a little bit more active and you've struggled before. There's a lot like this Join thing. I think it's really good. I'm going to definitely check out that YouTube instructor thing and see what he's all about, or whatever they're.
Nice. Yeah, we'll make sure that there are links to all these things in the comments for this episode, so you can check them out for yourself and kind of see what's out there. And we will definitely link to the article on the Atlantic. It's again called "What the Fitness Industry Doesn't Understand." It's by Amanda Mull, and it's great. I really felt like I could identify with this article. It really it reached me deeply, because it's very much what I felt like my personal experience was. So check it out.
Back some memories of that presidential test thing that I didn't know that's what it was called, but
right.
presidential fitness
test. Yeah,
thanks, president.
Yeah, right. Whichever president, thanks.
Well, that was a fun journey. I'm excited about checking out some of these other resources. So
yeah. And one more thing with this article, it's long, and there's a lot more. So it is absolutely worth a read. Just to kind of it really lays out how we got to where we're at, and how the fitness industry is slowly changing in little ways. But that's how a lot of change starts. So yeah, check it out.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks everybody.
All right. Until next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Heavy Conversation. Be sure to like and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your
Podcasts.